Hello, LilyKatchum video. Today we're going to take a look at the SHADOW Alolan Raticate in the Open Great League. This Pokemon is going to be a very fun one here, as my brother actually used this team to get up to Legend, not directly hitting Legend with it. He changed his team just before hitting Legend, but this was the one who got him quite high up onto the leaderboards as well. And so I kind of want to take a look at this one more, but he had Legend afterwards with a different team that is a bit lamer in my opinion. Don't want to judge of course there, but with Toxapex and Diggersby and Talonflame, like Toxapex lead, Diggersby and Talonflame in the back. But here we're going to have Alolan Raticate, which is already a lot of fun, and we're going to have also Chesnaught, which is also a Pokemon that I feel like is insanely underrated, and I feel like it's going to pick up more and more steam throughout the season. And there are good reasons for it, and you're going to see it in today's video as well. Here, I was not too sure on how to play the team basically from the beginning, but yeah, the face-up is definitely the Alolan Raticate in my opinion. Yes, there are some fighting-type Pokemon, but they are quite rare, and so I think it's the best to use this Pokemon here, especially against a Fairy-type Pokemon. You still have some play with Quick Attack and Hyper Fang, and so I'm quite happy with this. And here's the main reason why I think that Chesnaught is going to be one of the Pokemon that picks up the most amount of steam. The best face-up in my opinion currently is the Dunsparce, and Dunsparce has nothing to do against our Chesnaught. And that's something that you maybe saw already in the video earlier on today. We already had a video on today about the Galarian Weezing in the Shadow variant, going to be linked in the end card, so definitely feel free to check it out later as well. Also, I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like on the video and subscribe if you have not already. I am gonna be away for the weekend in Dortmund. Please support me there as well. Would really appreciate it. Also, if you're in Dortmund, feel free to say hello to me. I definitely would appreciate it as well. But anyway, we're going to see here still me trying to figure out this team in this battle. I sure went for the face-up of the Alolan Raticate, which would have been a way better matchup for me as well. While yes, Jumpluff most likely would have got baited out there. I still would have had some at least options against this Pokemon, but like this I'm gonna get completely hardwood. So again, something I only really figured out along the way is that the face-up is definitely better with the Alolan Raticate compared to the other ones here. So we're gonna see the next one here, Acrobatics coming through against us. They're going to have a Greninja in the back and can still go for a Brave, but I have to kind of hope at this point that this is going to land, which it's not gonna do. But I'll also be like, we would have had a great answer to Greninja if we didn't get rid of our Chesnaught straight away. So yeah, that is a bit silly, and those games definitely are games that are most that you could have been winning as well here if I just played it the correct way. And the correct way is to use a double weak to fighting rat as a face-up, and this is something that has to just get a bit more used for me, for my brain there, that we can use Pokemon that are double weak to fighting type Pokemon as face-ups. But yeah, the meta shifted quite a bit, and it's definitely a bit easier to run those Pokemon now. But we can move on to the next opponent. Chesnaught, oh Chesnaught. Next Chesnaught is going to be in the lead here. Face-up going to be the Dugong for the opponent. I go for the Fly because most opponents would use a Shield here, knowing that basically there is no way that I'm not going to go for a Brave Bird, but there is a way that I'm not going to go for the Brave Bird, and so I am going to decide to stay in for a bit as well, keep my energy for later, and now I can swap out into the Raticate. Raticate is going to have a very neutral matchup, but thanks to the Incinerate damage, I already got them into a range where I'm definitely going to be able to knock them out with my big rat here. And I actually want to check out something here now as well, which I did not do before. The Hyper Fang is a very unique move. I think it is 80 damage and 50 energy, but I just want to see if it's actually better than the Crunch in terms of damage. Crunch is going to be, of course, 70 and 45, and the Hyper Fang is 80 and 50, as I said before. So yeah, Hyper Fang is the better move to go for if you can only get to like 1, has better damage per energy, but Crunch has the option, of course, to get the 30% chance for a debuff. So yeah, interesting here. We're gonna see the opponent going for a charge move. I decided to go for an extra fast move against its superpower, and we will see the Auroras coming in. I actually decided to go for a Brave Bird here, which is quite brave, but it's also a bird, and we're going to be able to hit that one for sure. We're going to see the swap in here for the Chesnaught. Chesnaught can take a hit. Chesnaught is quite a bulky still, and so we're going to be able to go for that Frenzy Plant, force very likely the final shield from the opponent. And I should be at a spot where I cannot really lose anymore. The opponent is now in range for full farm down from both of my Pokemon, and so yeah, that's going to be a good game. One more Fly is all we need, and we can move on to the next opponent now. Let's see what they're going to run. We're going to have here Talonflame against the Pangoro. Great lead for us. Definitely the lead that we want to have. They swap out into the Dunsparce. I can get some energy. I can swap out into my Chesnaught, and they have nothing to do here. And we can move on to the next opponent. Honestly, Chesnaught is like such an underrated Pokemon. We're going to have a lead of So yeah, how do I play this team out here, or like this matchup out? It depends. The one thing that I would like to see is a Stone Edge actually, which seems a bit weird, but it is definitely the way to go. Stone Edge is going to come through as well. I can go for another charge move, but I also can go for another fast move afterwards still without being in a risk where they can go for another charge move themselves. And I decide to swap out of here, as I know now at this point all the energy is going to be wasted on my Chesnaught in the back. We're sadly going to have a hard answer here again in the Machamp. Machamp is going to be able to also fully farm us down, which is not ideal at all. And so yeah, what are we gonna do next? I decide to go ahead and go into my Chesnaught, I think, and was hoping that I can take the hits a bit better than it looked before, which I cannot, and so yeah, I need to hit the superpower in order to have a chance of winning this battle, which I can't, and so this battle is basically over. I know they have a ton of energy still, and so I decided to let the move go through, just let the Stone Edge connect here, and the opponent gonna be able to win this one quite fast. Melamar. Melamar is a very weird Pokemon for this team. Why is it so weird? The typing, the charge moves, everything kinda. So, our lead is quite neutral. We have neutral fast moves, neutral charge moves for both sides. Then we're going to have our Say Swap, the Eradicate, which double resist the fast move, single resist one charge move. And that's double weak to another charge move. And so that's going to be a weird matchup again. Like in the two shields, very likely good for you. Anywhere else, not so much. And then we're going to have our Pokemon in the back, which is going to be the Chesnaught, which is taking super effective hits from the the fast move, but from the main charge move it takes resisted damage. So I don't know, like I feel like it's a bit of a weird one. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know, it's a weird matchup. Anyway, we're gonna see the Brave Bird coming through here. We have 0 shields, which is a bit of an issue, maybe. Ice Beam coming through, going to two-shot me. They're going to go into the Sand Slash. I can get at least one shield here, most likely. I can swap out, but here's the thing as well with Raticate, I just wish it would generate energy just this tiny bit faster. If it would generate the energy a bit faster, I think it would be such a great Pokemon. Like 4.5 would be really cool for Quick Attack. Would make Quick Attack, of course, the best fast move in the game, kinda. Especially if you take a look at Zacian, which already runs Quick Attack. You cannot really buff Quick Attack, so don't get me wrong. I don't want to suggest like that Quick Attack should get buffed, but I would like to see a different kind of fast move on the Eradicate. I think that would be kind of funny. So for sure, a Pokemon that needs a bit of a faster pacing sometimes. Next opponent, we're going to have a Great Lead Force and a even better Say Swap. We're going to have the best kind of Say Swap that I could imagine. We can swap out into our Chesnaught, we can have a great time here, and we can take a Drill Run, we can take any other hit, and we can go for the Frenzy Plant as well in order to put them into range where I can fully farm them down, and that's just going to be lovely. As you can see here, they have nothing to do anymore. Actually, we're going for the Superpower. I think my goal is to swap out here later into my other Pokemon, into my Raticate. But as I decided to go back into the Jumpluff straight away, I'm not even too sure if it's too smart to go for the swap here, but I still do it. And so, yeah, they're going to have a bit of a better matchup here now. But I'm still going to have my Grass type in the back, and maybe they have a Pokemon weak to Grass types in the back. A lot of times, yeah, for the people who didn't know, Jumpluff is very likely paired with something like Gastrodon. Gastrodon Jumpluff is the most common kind of core for this Pokemon. And this is something that's very important to know, because as you're gonna see here, there's a Gastrodon in the back. Knowing what kind of cores are quite common right now is very, very valuable. Like, it's going to allow you to basically, yeah, get quite a decent head start against a lot of opponents. If you already see the first Pokemon, you know what they have in the back. It is quite nice to have, and yeah, it is just the most common core, I think, around the Jumpluff, because it just covers the weaknesses the best. And so, as you gonna see here, Superpower is coming through. We just need to hit one fly against the opponent. I can use a no-shield here as well, now knowing that I just should be fine here. It's going to be a Body Slam coming through. I can overfarm by a bit as well, just to go up to 2 flies. The opponent goes for another charge move. It's going to be another Body Slam. At this point, there's no way they can win the battle. We have one fly here. We have even a Brave Bird still stored for the Jumpluff. And so, this is going to be a very good game. And we can move on to the next opponent after this charge move connects. And so, yeah, let's move on to the next one. We're going to have Talonflame against the Melamar. That is going to be quite an interesting matchup again, as we said before. The matchup itself is very interesting. I don't know, like it's definitely a weird one. Depends on how you want to play it. I think you're going to be okay here if you're just going to go for the no-shield first. But it can be a bit of a trickier one. The opponent decides to go for the foul play. And I'm actually going to swap out into my Raticate. And yes, I know, they're going to be able to get the shield back here for sure. But I get a ton of energy. And Raticate with energy can be quite crucial. And as you're going to see, they're going to have the Jumpluff in the back. And I now can avoid the Jumpluff with my other Grass type. But not only this, I can get some damage onto them here, I get the defense drop, and I can align my Talonflame later in time because the opponent still should be kind of locked into the matchup. I can go for a charge move straight away, going to be the Hyper Fang, as I said before, it's going to be the harder hitting move, and now one Incinerate should be most likely enough to knock them out, and we're going to go straight forward, knock them out, get rid of the hardest insult for the Chesnaught, and there is an Azumarill on the back, and I hope that I'm going to go down to the next bubble here because I got the debuff onto myself, but let's see here, it is going to be enough so we don't have too much energy on the opponent, and they swap out into the Malamar. I can go for the Frenzy Plant here, and I might actually just try to swap out of here as well soon, but I can't actually. I can't swap out, and so it is a bit of a tricky one. I want to maybe even catch the move here because I know I win the CMP tie against Azumarill, and one charge move would definitely be enough, but they go ahead and go for the double superpower. This is going to definitely do some decent damage, but it's not going to be enough to knock us out, and we can fully farm them down, winning us this battle. We're going to have an Azumarill on the lead. Horrible lead for us, kind of core breaker, right? Raticate is actually quite okay with that. We have fast move damage that is going to add up quite fast. We have fast move damage as well, that, or like fast moves in general here, that generate a little bit more energy than the opponent. And in the two-shot scenario, this might be actually a very fine matchup for our little rat here. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and go for the Hyper Fang again, but actually the opponent swaps out here, and we can go for the Crunch, which is also kind of cool. Also, the rat learns Hyper Beam, which I feel like has a lot of potential as well in the current meta, being able to basically nuke opponents away, especially as Hyper Fang is an okay move. It is an Iron Head clone, which you would never say that Iron Head is like a strong move. I think it's also a clone of Dark Pulse. I think Dark Pulse does even more damage, doesn't it? Let me actually real quick check on the side. Dark Pulse is also doing 80 damage, so like they're all kind of the same. But yeah, Hyper Fang would be actually a move that I would like to see getting a bit of a buff. It would be kind of cool for all of those Fang users, which are not that many. I think it's just Raticate actually. I don't know any other Pokemon currently that learns the move. Yeah, but I don't know, Hyper Fang. I don't think there's anything other than the Raticate. Oh, actually Bibarel learns as well. Bibarel and Watchog and Gumshoes. So like all of those, like yeah, rodents there basically are able to learn this move. Would be kind of cool if this got buffed because I feel like all of the Pokemon that can learn it right now, they're all kind of not too strong, but definitely kind of funny to run. And actually PvPoke even suggests to go for Hyper Beam on the Raticate, which I didn't see before, which I maybe should have done. But again, I don't have charge TMs, so I rather go for the moves that I have already on this Pokemon. But if you want to see another showcase of Hyper Beam Raticate, maybe we're gonna have this in the future. Next opponent, let's see what they're going to have here. We're going to have a great lead for ourselves, and it's going to be Golux swapping in. You might think, why did he not swap out into either of the other Pokemon? And here is the reason. Our Raticate is going to be interesting because fast move is double resisted. The opponent has access to the move Dynamic Punches, which is one-shotting us, and so there is no reason for me to do this. Then we're going to take a look at Chesnaught. Yes, Chesnaught most likely going to be able to win the matchup quite fast, but it still takes a ton of damage from the charge moves, and not only this, it is also going to be quite awkward then to have the next matchup where it's completely hard-rolled by the Jumpluff. And so now we find ourselves in a scenario where we have the Jumpluff against our rat, we have a shield disadvantage, we have a Clodsire in the back, and if Clodsire is running the Stone Edge and Earthquake scenario there basically, we're going to be able to get up our Grass type against it and completely hard-wall it. And that's something that we would have not been able to do if we were swapped out into our Grass type against the Ground type Pokemon, which on paper does make sense, but in the scenario we were in, didn't make any sense at all. And so here the opponent actually swaps, which was very scary for me because I was thinking, oh, they have a lot of energy already on the Clodsire, but it is just going to be the resisted hit, and this will allow us to for sure get to 2 Frenzy Plants here, which is gonna force the opponent to use their own shield. And as we have 2 charge moves stored already in our Talonflame there, I can just go freely for the Fly. Fly is going to be able to knock out both of the opponent's Pokemon after at least here the Frenzy Plant. And I have 2 Flies stored, I win CMP tie against any of them. And so I can already tell you this is going to be a good game. There's nothing the opponent can do here anymore. And yeah, this was a great team to run. I had a lot of fun running this one. Again, there were some battles that I could have won as well if I had a bit more experience and used the correct save swap. But yeah, this team was a lot of fun. Thanks all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like and I will see you then. Bye bye.